Hello, my name is Dan Crosby with Channel 5 News at 6 o'clock, and today we'll be discussing the amazing process called photosynthesis. So what exactly is it, Ollie Williams?
Well, the most basic explanation is that photosynthesis is a process in which plants create glucose and catch energy from the sun. My assistant Cash R Money can elaborate on some specifics.
Yes, hello. Photosynthesis can be described through the formula sunlight plus carbon dioxide plus water equals glucose and oxygen. And it takes place in the chloroplast of a plant. A chloroplast is made up of a double membrane and contains thylakoids, which, when stacked, are called granas, with all space in between called the stroma.
Interesting. Now, how does this process work?
Well, the first phase, light-dependent reaction, occurs in the thylakoid membranes with the goal of creating ATP and NADPH, electron carries with light energy.
Good process of the photosynthesis. We're going to show you what is it like inside the grass.
First, sunlight is absorbed by the chlorophyll, causing water to split into both H ions, O2, and exciting electrons.
The excited electrons travel down the electron transport chain, pulling H plus ions across into the thylakoid and then through an ATP synapse and then eventually to the stroma. The H plus ions create ATP, which creates energy which is needed for the next phase.
When another chlorophyll absorbs sunlight and electrons move through yet another ETC, NADP plus accepts the electron and transforms into NADPH, then moves on to the next phase, which is called the light-independent reaction, or Calvin cycle.
I learned about this in my junior biology class. Isn't it the stroma of the chloroplast that uses CO2 to form glucose?
That is correct, as CO2, ATP for energy, and NADPH for electrons enter the cycle. All it takes is 2 turns to produce glucose.
Very interesting. I feel as if I've learned a lot. Tune in next week where we'll be talking about cellular respiration. This is Dan Crosby, signing out. Back to Channel 5 at 6 o'clock. This is Dan Crosby, and today we'll be doing a special feature on cellular respiration from our guests, Willie and Cash Money. So what exactly is the purpose of cellular respiration?
Well, cellular respiration is basically a process that is used to break down food and create ATP, which cells need for energy. Go.
It can be described by the equation oxygen plus glucose equals carbon dioxide plus water plus ATP. There are 2 types of cellular respiration: aerobic, which requires oxygen, and anaerobic, which occurs without oxygen.
However, both types share the same first stage, glycolysis.
Glycolysis occurs in the cytoplasm and is the process in which glucose is broken down into pyruvic acid. 2 ATP molecules work to begin the process, and 2 NADH molecules are created, producing 2 pyruvate molecules and a net of 2 ATP. The second stage is called the Krebs cycle.
This occurs in the matrix of the mitochondria. In this stage, CO2 is created as a byproduct, and 1 ATP molecule is made for each turn. 2 total. Electron carries are also created, which are needed for the third stage called electron transport.
Let me try this one. I remember that it takes place in the mitochondria and uses the electrons from NADH and FADH2. And as they move through the ETC, H plus ions pumped into the intermembrane space, then back into the matrix.
Correct. The H plus moving create around 32 to 34 ATP, and oxygen accepts the electron, creating water as a final product. However, these were only the steps for aerobic respiration. And anaerobic respiration, after glycolysis, fermentation takes place in the cytoplasm of the
This is
cell.
all very interesting. Thank you for coming to the show. We hope you come back another time. This is Dan Crosby with Channel 5 News, signing off.